We are now just hours away from the next Disney earnings report. Josh tomorrow giving his first one, and it could be a terse one indeed. For we are finding out that Josh tomorrow may have had a bad quarter to report on. Who knows, right? Stock could pop, it could drop. We will wait and see. But one thing is for sure, attendance at Disney, lower. Box office, in trouble. Well, maybe that's a double dose. Whatever. Folks, let's talk about how the mainstream media keeps saying anyway, it's time to buy Disney. That stock has been stuck in the same place for 11 years, and yet, folks, every 3 months we report the same story. The media telling you, buy Mickey Mouse and his clubhouse. The question is, are they doing that out of good faith or because they want a product pushed upon your plate? Today we'll decide. Click the like button. You hear us, you let us know, are we right or are we wrong? And we'll find out in about 12 hours or so. The Walt Disney Company has been in a very bad place for a very long time. In fact, if we take a look at the past year, Disney is down 17.5%, and that's even with a little bit of an influx of folks coming in, hoping and praying that Disney's going to have a good earnings report tomorrow. If we look at the max on Disney, you can see here that Disney has been in the same place essentially since early 2015. That's how long it's been that if you've been holding this stock, you've had the same price for your stock that long, minus when Chapek came in and drove the stock to crazy levels, and then back down it went again. This is not going well. It's not swell. And yet again, well, the investor class is saying maybe you should be buying Disney. Once again, let's show you where this stock has been. No financial advice being given, folks, but it's been in the same place since 2015. Even if your dollars are worth less, Disney is still worth the same amount of dollars. So, from The Motley Fool by Katie Hogan, should you buy Disney stock before August 5th? Disney is under new leadership, facing significant challenges. I'm going to insert this. People are even calling for them to drop streaming altogether. But Wall Street remains optimistic. Says the Walt Disney Company, under the new leadership of new CEO Josh D'Amaro, is due to report its third quarter 2026 earnings on August 5th. As tomorrow, the entertainment company could use some good news as the stock has fallen more than 15% this year and over 45% in the past 5 years. By the way, if we extended that 5 years out several months, it's more than 50%. Disney has struggled to find its footing under pressure from its expensive streaming business, corporate layoffs, patent injunctions in the EU. Consumers are also tightening their belts as inflation and fuel prices remain high, talking about, hey, it's getting really tough over there at Disney World. Wall Street, though, is largely optimistic. Pause there for a minute. Folks, back to the chart. Been there for 11 years. But every single time we do one of these stories, and we do these stories 4 times a year, Wall Street is always largely optimistic. Mm-hmm. Analyst consensus has Disney priced around $128 per share. It's currently near $30 below that of July 29th. The bullish case for Disney relies on continued growth and expansion within theme parks, resorts, and cruises. Yada, 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 yada. Okay, it says it's attractively priced right now. Marv, we cover this over and over there right now. If you go to investing.com, Disney stock may move 6.3%. And maybe it will. Maybe it will. And we got competing reports. Market Beat says that Disney company stock holdings are decreased by Bank of America, like people are selling. But the bottom line is this, Marv. This is a broken record.
Yeah.
We do this story every time, and every time they say, buy, it's underpriced. And every single time we're back here again. In terms of long-term investing, and we're not giving advice, folks, you can look and see what a long-term investment would look like for Disney. If we were to look at the S&P 500, or we look at like NVIDIA, or we were to look at, any number of companies like Apple, this chart doesn't look like that. This is not a normal chart. It's normal companies in the S&P 500 went up. Disney plateaued. Actually, they went up briefly under a different kind of leadership and then shrunk right back down. Marv, your thoughts on the Disney earnings report? And, they're going to report on Moana. They're going to report on Mando.
Yeah, well, no, they're not. They're going to push Toy Story like there's no tomorrow.
And Spider-Man. They'll claim success for Spider-Man.
Do you think I was just going to ask, do you think they're going to actually do that even though it's not their movie?
Yep, they're going to say that it is 100%. Making. Yeah, they're going to say it makes Doomsday look like it could be a real winner this holiday season.
Well, I know they're going to hype. They're going to hype Doomsday. Yeah, they're absolutely going to hype Doomsday. But yeah, I mean, really, the only major victory they've had in the last year has been Toy Story. Moana fell on its face. Mando and Grogu fell on its face.
And Disney
Hoppers
attendance
was a disaster. Yeah, and Disney attendance is down. The attendance in the parks is down. There might be a question about that because that has kind of made it into the mainstream. Maybe, and I'm sure they'll have some kind of like, well, per capita spending is up, but attendance is down, which is actually what we want. It's going to be a lot of twaddle speak the way it normally is. It's going to be a lot of circular talking. I don't think any. Now, I would love if somebody would ask the question. I'm dying somebody to ask Josh D'Amaro. Have you actually signed a contract with Miral for
Abu
this,
Dhabi,
Abu Dhabi Disney World project,
which just completely went silent with Middle Eastern conflict.
Gone. I'm working on a story right now. I'm collaborating with Caroline Reed on information in which we're kind of handing back and forth where it's starting to look increasingly pro. Like they have not even signed a contract with Miral.
Well, so. Caroline Reed, by the way, is with Forbes. So you're reporting that, and I don't know if you're doing that with That Park Place or Geeks and Gamers. So That Park Place and Forbes are working together on a report regarding Abu Dhabi Disneyland and whether or not Disney even has a contract. Is that right?
Yeah, Caroline and I have been going back and forth on it. I've been looking into it. I haven't been able to give it the time that it really needs, but I'm going to within the next week because there's something fishy going on. And so I'd be very, very fascinated to see if they are going to bring up the Abu Dhabi project tomorrow. That's the big thing that I want to hear because from what we can tell, there's not even there might not be a signed contract. And with how crazy it's been with the stability of that region.
Let me tell you, Marv, you covered the DEI situation where Bob Iger was being paid more money based on DEI, illegal DEI quotas is what's alleged. You covered that. The FCC picked that up and has used that that article as basis in part for their investigations into Disney that Disney is currently under. Now you're going to team up with Forbes and report on whether or not the Abu Dhabi Disneyland thing is fake. Marv,
to be fair,
Disney's going to...
I'm teaming up with Caroline. It's not like an official Forbes thing.
I hear you, but Disney's going to love you, buddy. You're going to be they're going to be number one fans of old Marvin Montenaro.
they already love me.
Oh boy. Andre, your thoughts on how this works out every single time we cover this. We say the same thing. The media says buy. We say no financial advice, but every time they say buy.
First, I actually want to begin because I was like biting myself. Like I'm not going to interrupt you while you're talking.
Go for it.
It's not because you said anything wrong, but just to comment on those kinds of press, right? The not go buy Disney explicitly, but implicitly. Wall Street is positive. So many good things, right? Whenever, and this is true, I'm saying this as someone that used to work in finance. Whenever you have some kind of media article that is trying to sell a product to you, unless this is a financial advisor who you are paying to give you advice, you are the product. This is someone trying to influence you on behalf of someone else. And this is true whenever you see the media telling you or the financial trade say, buy this, buy that, blah, blah, blah. They are furthering some kind of interest and it's not yours. If it happens to coincide with you, with your interests, that's a bonus. But they are pushing some other ulterior motive. That is someone who, for some reason, wants to prop up the Disney share price by getting more people to buy into it. That's all there is to it. Someone is paying for that kind of coverage. As for what's going to come out, Marvin, I think you are right that those things should be asked. They're not going to be asked. But I'm very, very curious to see exactly how this is going to be. Because the Bob Iger style press conferences, they got very, very frustrating because there was one time they opened the panel to real questions from the audience, from actual shareholders, and they were absolutely hammered. And that will never, ever happen again. So I will expect it's going to be fairly similar to what Iger got, that it's going to be mostly prepared questions from the big shareholders asking things they already know the answers to. So I think it's going to be a relatively performative thing with loads of spin, with loads of look at Toy Story, look at our successes. Wow, did you see what Spider-Man did? It took down Avengers Endgame. Now get excited for Avengers Doomsday. That's going to be the message there. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of reference to it. Beyond that, I anticipate it's not going to be any kind of like revolutionary for in any sense, but we could be surprised. I look forward to seeing how things are going to be under D'Amato. But remember, D'Amato, he is a CEO in name only. Disney is still owned and run by BlackRock, by State Street, by these big institutional investors who are the ones that actually run the show. And unlike Einherjar, who actually seized control and took over the company, who conquered the company, and who later conquered the board before he himself was conquered by people buying into the company like BlackRock and stuff like that, D'Amato is appointed. He is an anointed prince and heir to the company. I'm curious to how much he's actually allowed to rule. And even if he is coming from that culture, how much change is actually going to be.
What we've heard, Andre, is that he is controlled by James P. Gorman, who is the director of the board and was appointed by Wall Street to take control of the company and lead the change from Bob Iger. And then Hugh Johnston, who is the CFO of the company. And the other part of this is that Dana Walden, Wall Street's concession to Hollywood to keep Hollywood from revolting against them for not selecting a woman, was to name a new title, give Dana Walden that new title, which is president of the company. She's not CEO, but she's president of the company. And she has repoliticized all the creative parts of Disney. So
exactly. It's a disaster. It's a disaster.
Let me show the record on this. Then, Marv, I think you've got something you're wanting to show. Is that right?
Yeah. I have a thing from Lightshed Partners about 10 questions that they want to have asked.
Okay, let me show folks this from investing, and I'm going to show you why we actually have a record of how badly the media has bumbled and fumbled the Disney stock. Take a look at this from investing.com. It says Disney shares could move 6.3% when the company releases its earnings report on August 5th before the market opens, based on options data compiled by Bloomberg. In other words, Bloomberg is out there talking about Disney's going to go up 6.3%. So you've got all these day traders ready to jump in. Okay. Now, we're not giving financial advice, but I want you to hear what the track record looks like, okay? The options market has accurately predicted Disney's stock movement in 3 of the past 8 earning announcements, according to the data. Here's what it says. On May 6th, options implied a 6.8% move, while the stock changed 6.5%. On February 2nd, listen to the delta between this. The implied move was 6.1% up, compared to an actual decline of 5.9%.
One hell of a delta.
Yeah. On November 13th, options suggested a 5.8% move up. Shares actually fell 3.4%. On August 6th, the implied move was 5.6% up against an actual drop of 4%. We can keep going back if you want to, but this is what happens over and over, and we've called it the pop and drop. Even when they get it right, I mean, it can't go up and stay up. We've looked at we've seen the meter. We see the graph, folks. We'll go back to it, okay? In the past year, Disney is down 17%. So even when it goes up, it's what we call a pop and drop. Now, what's going to happen tomorrow? I can't tell you. I'm not going to say what I think is going to happen. I'm not going to give financial advice. I just want to call out the crummy corruption of the media that does this over and over and over. And as Andre said, it's because you, folks, you are the product they're trying to influence. Marv, what do you got?
Yeah, so I've got this thing here from Lightshed, which is basically the 10 questions that they want asks. Are you rethinking an ESPN ABC spinoff? So basically like what NBC did with all of its things, what Warner Brothers was going to do. D'Amato was very clear last time that they were not going to do that, but they wanted to ask if they're rethinking it. Is Parks discounting, offsetting economic weakness, or just stealing share from Universal? Should Disney Plus and Hulu offer a free tier? How much is NFL rights certainty worth? Is Roblox an IP pipeline for Disney television?
No, get away from Roblox.
Yeah, I agree. Should Disney Plus be a platform? Does Disney need to make a gaming acquisition? The importance of vertical video. Should Disney have a strong Sphere presence, like in the Sphere in Vegas?
Of all the crazy things to ask.
I know. But this one is the one. Is Disney preparing to walk away from Abu Dhabi theme park with Maral?
There you go.
So those are questions I think that you could. Some of these I think are pretty good. Like I think the ESPN ABC spin is a good question because honestly, that's something they probably should do.
They'll get one of these questions, Marv. If they even got a question, it's also highly curated. Disney picks what they get asked, and they're not going to get asked anything they don't want to be asked. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah,
that's been the way it goes.
Won't be asked.
No. So, folks, that's what we think about it right now. But just know, while we give no financial advice, that does not stop others in the media from doing so. And when they do so, it seems to go in one direction, and that direction can be dangerous, very dangerous for your wallet. Caution, folks, is needed for the House of Mouse. Well, it's been a good time. It's been a great time, folks. It's been a groovy time, even. Keeping the Holly Weirds in line. We know them better than they know themselves. As we say goodbye, folks, please consider clicking that like button, drop a comment down below, and join the community dialogue today. And until the next time, we say it every time. Keep learning. Keep growing. And as always, keep having fun.